No, I'm not still here from last week, but I am back, and I actually brought the shovel with me. Oh, right, this is my major job for today. I really want this clear. So I'm just going to crack on with this, and once I've got this done, you know, we'll have a bit of a chat. But if I stop and chat now, I know what's going to happen. This isn't. So I'm just getting to real rat territory now as well. Like this side, although there was some activity, it's not like there. So like every shovel I put in, I'm a bit like, is it going to be rat? Is it going to be rat? When I was digging out the compost heap, I put the shovel in, and when the shovel came out, I'd gone straight through. Luckily, I hadn't killed anything, because that would have been horrific, but I'd gone straight through into the nest with all the babies, and they all ran out and ran up my shovel at me. No, I don't mind rats. Sorry about the squeaking. We've got a... What's up, Florence? We have a guest. Are you off? See you later. She's been very chatty this morning. Yeah, they all ran at me, so I've got a bit concerned about going through a nice baby rat's nest. Right. Okay, I'm going to stop chatting because otherwise this isn't going to happen. Let's go. She's becoming a real, like, person chicken. She likes to be around us all the time, rather. Don't you? You beautiful girl. A chatty knickers. Have you got chatty knickers? You have. Incredible chatty knickers. Do you want to help me do some digging, madam? I think so. That would be handy. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl that you are. Hey, Flo? Look at all these blooming roots. Thought I got all these out the other day, chicken love. I know. Don't you go out there, chicken. Oi. Well, I tell you what, it's not just me who has been on the digging mission today. Mum has been attacking the compost heaps. We do the most simple version of composting, other than just having one big pile. We do 3-bin system, which is basically one big pile that you turn twice before it's ready by moving it from one box into the second box, into the third box, and by the time it's in the third box, it is ready to go. And Mum is in the process of turning number 2 into number 3. And she's going so fast, I'm going to have to put the frontage back on bin number 3 so she can finish it off. Whew, she's flying. Anyway, I did say I wasn't going to stop and start chatting and doing other things. I am not leaving today unless there is no soil left in that polytunnel bed. Dug it all out. It wasn't really that big a task. More the problem is not the digging it out, but where I was going to put the soil. Started laying it on the top bed, but like this is a lot of soil, you know, and we didn't have really anywhere to tip it. So it's kind of dotted around the allotment, but never mind. I filled up a couple of holes, you know, and it's still out there. I've got to put some in the carrot bed, but we weren't quite ready to do that, you know, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, the main thing is it's not in here anymore. No rat holes to be seen on the surface, but I can tell you, as I'm walking around, there's huge cavities underneath the weed-proof matting. So when we built this, or when I built this, this original thing that it's on was the old base of the, you know, just like flimsy green polytunnels. You know those ones, they're like 2 meters by 3 meters, just really bog standard. Great for a few years, but then they get screwed up by the wind type polytunnel. So when I built this one, I just built that straight onto the base, and we left what was the flooring because we hadn't had any rat issues in the old polytunnel, and we just had like a double layer of that weed-proof matting that's like woven. You know, the stuff that goes down really nicely, but then after a couple of years it just starts shredding. Well, that's what we've got on the bottom of here. It's been down there for, well, it must be, we had that polytunnel for 3 years, 4 years, and then we've had this one for another 3 years. So, I mean, it's been down there a long time, but there is huge tunnels under here that I can just like feel with my foot as I'm walking around. It's just like cavities extraordinaire under there. So rather than dismantling or trying to move it out of here, what I might do is strip all the plastic off it and then rip the weed-proof membrane from underneath. Then at least we can see what's here. Then I'm going to use some of that soil that I've dug out to refill all the rat holes that are under here, and then we'll be laying the mesh. Now I don't want to start filling it in until I've actually got the mesh ready to go, because the rats will just come back and redo it, I'm sure. And I think I'm going to go and see what Mum's up to. Wow, now that is a job. Yeah, have a look at this, right? We're in digging success mode today. Mum has completely cleared this compost bin, which is number 2, and it's all in there. Oh, empty bin, full bin, and look at this for good looking compost. I mean, it's unsieved or anything yet, but look at that. It's absolutely gorgeous. Bloody marvellous. Hard work?
Very hard work.
Yes, that's pretty impressive. And then now this bin, which is the newer stuff, is all going to get turfed into here. And then we'll start filling that bin again. That definitely calls for a cup of coffee, I think. Very serious strategy meeting. But we've decided, come to a conclusion, we've decided that actually we're not going to rip any of this up or take the bed up or take the weed-proof matting up or anything until we've actually bought the mesh. So I'm going to order the mesh this afternoon so we can do it all in one fell swoop, which would be fun. I don't think it's going to be a great look under here, to be honest, with all those massive holes. And in fact, I'm standing in one now. I'll get back up onto solid ground. But yeah, so we are going to leave this now until I've ordered the mesh, and then we're going to attack the base of this. But I've got something else that I need to do today that I nearly forgot. I bought some bits and pieces up that need to go in around the pond. Wow. I've actually got some really nice little bits and pieces to plonk in here. We've got a bit of chaos in the back garden at home, where things have sort of multiplied and we're digging them out, but it's such a small garden, we don't really have anywhere else to put them. It's not like we can sort of split and divide and just put them elsewhere. There is no elsewhere. So they're coming up here, and this is one of my absolute favourites. It is a geranium, like a proper geranium, perennial, that is called, now I can never remember which one it is because it used to have 2 names. It used to be called Jollibee and Roseanne. And then at some point they decided it didn't need two names, or somebody had the rights to it, or something along those lines, and it took one of the names, and I can never remember whether it took the name Roseanne or Jollibee. But anyway, it's one of those, and it's the absolute classic. It is bright blue, and it's just pure joy. I absolutely love them. So to get a big clump of them just like overflowing here, it's like one of those proper like spilling geraniums. I love them. That's going in here. So that would be really nice. Now under here somewhere is where we used to have the gunnera, which is now no longer allowed. So we've given up on it at long last. It really should have been given up on a lot earlier than it was. But there is also what is it called? A comfrey under here, which are resilient little buggers. And we don't really want it under here. We've sort of slowly moved all of our comfrey to kind of clumps around the edge where we can use it to make comfrey feed, but it's not kind of taking up a big amount of space. But this one, they've got such deep roots, we've dug this out so many times, it's still in there. Still in there. But I'm hoping if we just keep chipping away at it, it will eventually give up. Is that a bit too optimistic of me? Has anybody known a comfrey to actually give up? I don't think I have. These little bits that I'm planting are literally just very small bits of root with a little tiny tuft of growth on them. But it's such a good plant, it will take off from there. No worries. Hey Lil, won't they? We'll have Jollibee all over here. We will, Bunny Rabbit. We will. We will. So that is my Jollibee. I've got a couple of other little bits I'm going to put in there. And the other thing that I've got to chuck in is a Ridgeron. I've got masses of it. But I think I want it to kind of dot in around the pond. You know, a Ridgeron says like really, really lacy little tiny daisies that you often see like growing out of walls and stuff. That's this chap. So I want to kind of get it to go in and around the edge of the pond. So might try and get it in across that edge. But actually we've got quite a lot of work to do on that end, because I've got something quite exciting to put in there. We need to kind of have a bit of so maybe I'll put these in the greenhouse, hold on to them until we've done a bit of work in there, and then plonk them in there. I think that's what I'll do. I'll just put these other two little Jollibees in. We didn't actually intend to dig these up from home, but Mum is very diligently trying to get rid of a massive Japanese anemone, which is actually the ones that we planted down there. You know, I brought up a couple of clumps of that. We've got two of them in exactly the right place at home, so we want to keep them, but one of them is right at the blooming front, and it's so tall, it's no good. So she's trying to dig those out, and this, as it's sprouting, looks really similar, so she dug this one out as well. So we put the main clump back in at home, and obviously now we've got a couple of extras for up here. Absolutely lovely. Right. Oh, what else have we got to do today? Masses, actually. I did a blooming to-do list last week at the end of the video when I was fed up at digging. And it was a mistake, because now it's a bit overwhelming. It's like 2 pages long. Well, that, chaps, was a more successful day than I was expecting. Yeah, I love it when you do that, when you'll come up and we'll just do this one thing, and then it turns out that you've been up here all day and had a really lovely day. A lot of digging, which is a bit of a novelty really for an allotment which essentially we don't dig anything. Like we wouldn't normally kind of be digging over any area that we're going to be growing in. It's just, in this particular case, it's just the act of digging, like moving soil physically. So yeah, once this is done, we shouldn't be getting out the spades for quite a long time, which is nice, apart from the greenhouse. Yeah, ignore I said that, it was nonsense. We're going to be digging for a little bit of time. But before we leave today, I've got to pick Kaylette's Cavallonero sprouts, you know, the flowers off the top, because they're getting a bit long now. What else have I got to do? I'm going to try and pick some rhubarb, which is exciting, and I need sage and I need rosemary. The sun has been in and out, in and out, in and out all day, but according to the forecast, the very end of today, we've got a good like half hour of solid sunshine just before day closes. And I also have something very exciting to pick up from Waterstones. So I'm going to pick what I need to pick here. I'm going to head down to Richmond, nip into Waterstones, and then go and have a pint, finish the day off with the last little bit of sunshine. What a successful day! Good morning. It is an absolutely beautiful day. Look at that blue sky. And the forecast said it was going to be grey and rainy, so this feels like an absolute bonus. And because of that, we are on Action Stations, and we've got a bit of a scheme up our sleeves on the wrap front today. No idea if it's going to work, but it's worth a shot. And Tool Station is the destination. Let's go get some rat smoke. Okay, little pellets got. We'll see how this works. And also, we're planning to be up the allotment for a little while today, and we had absolutely no ingredients for a decent sandwich. So we're going to risk buying one from a supermarket. So we're going to stop at Sainsbury's on our way home. Or not on our way home, on our way to the allotment. Excellent. 2 minutes. Alright, darling, I'm going to go up here. Yep, I'm getting out. Okay. Let's throw that one out there, that's not an option. Mum's asking for a celery sandwich. I don't think they're going to have that, to be honest. I think the best we can hope for is ham and cheese. Maybe not even that. Sandwich has got a bit of pineapple, and look at this absolute gem. Pretty thrilled to find that. Let's head up to the allotment while we've still got the blue skies.
Green 65.
Woo! I've got to do something about this ivy, Mum. They still haven't fixed the fence along here. I haven't heard anything back from the woman either, so who knows? Everything is looking gorgeous in the sunshine. Look at those daffs, don't they look gorgeous? Looks a bit better now we did some strimming, doesn't it? Oh, there's a madam. Morning, Lil. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, pussycat. Meow, darling. Hey, sweetheart. Ready to go in? Come on. Woof. Go on, Fluff. In, madam.
I'll take that one because that's going over there.
Okay. There we go. All the sunshine, Lil. Yeah. Morning, girls. Morning, morning, morning. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Hi, Lily Ma. Lily Maloo, Lily Maloo. Beautiful girl. Oh no, we're in play mode. Ah. Beautiful pussycat. Yeah, action stations today. Action stations today. Good morning. Good morning. We just opened up the shed. It's beautiful and sunny. It's absolutely so warm just here. It's really quite windy out there, but like just here where the sun's pouring in, it's gorgeous. And I have finally reached my limit with having all of this nonsense in here. So although it's windy and the reason we've got it in here is because of the wind, I'm going to put the blooming swing seat back together because I'm fed up with it being in here. Right, that's my first job. Well, if you were watching last summer, you'll know that this swing seat is an absolute joy. It was a freebie from a neighbour and it was so good. I mean, just with all the cushions on it and the sunshine and just sitting around having a lovely time, it's perfect. But I tell you what, we're going to have to find somewhere better to store it next winter because it's not okay in the shed. I have stabbed myself in the shoulder with these off bits just too many times now. Too many times. Ah, look at all the space we've got. Still got this one, but never mind, that's all right. Yeah, lovely. Right, that's good. Oh, it's lovely and warm here. Oh no, Dumbo's out. Liability chicken is on the loose. Oh, but they do look happy just pottering around together, don't they? Little sweethearts. I think they've got a lovely, lovely summer ahead of them, those four girlies. They have. Okay, so first job of the morning, other than clearing space in the shed so we can actually move in here, or so that both of us can fit in here, is smoke cartridges. Now, well, obviously we've got this rat problem. The obvious thing to do would be to poison them, but we're not going to do that. Firstly, it's just doesn't really sit very well with me. Obviously, I don't really like going around poisoning things. They've got just as much right to be here as I do. But on top of that, I wouldn't want to poison them because other things are eating them. We know the foxes eat the rats and we know Lily eats the rats. So poison is completely off the table. And I was talking to somebody the other day about how do you blooming get rid of rats? Because there's areas up here, like we know that there's going to be rats here. Like it's not something that you can just be like, let's get rid of all the rats in the area. They're always going to be in the compost heap, that kind of thing. But the idea is going to be to make their life as uncomfortable as possible where they are, because we don't want them under the chicken house and we don't want them under the polytunnel or indeed in the greenhouse. They're like the areas that they can just bugger off from. And one of the things that was recommended was actually smoking them out, which was by putting embers down there because they don't like fire. And also there's like a rat poison that you can get that's a smoke bomb that kind of, but obviously we're not going to use that. Mostly because I have the suspicion that there's going to be rat tunnels also running underneath the girlie's cage. They don't get into the girl's cage because it's all meshed, they can't get in there. But I think the rat tunnels do run under there because again, it's that dry ground. are like exactly the same as underneath the polytunnel. It's like prime rat. Are you all right there, Mum?
I am.
Just listening. I don't want someone to think I've got a cardboard cutout of you in the shed. Spark a conspiracy theory. Yeah, so we haven't gone for like proper rat smoke bombs because we don't want anything that's kind of got nasties in it. What we've gone for are special effects smokers, which are smoke cartridges that you can use to find holes in chimneys and stuff. So you set them off and then the draft like pulls them through and you can see the white smoke. So that's what we're going to do. We have got 10 cartridges in here, and every couple of days we're just going to set another one off. It's not harmful to anything, and we're just going to hoping to make their life unpleasant. That's the idea anyway. Yeah. What do they look like? Okay, so they're just like these little things. Light the top, and I'm going to chuck it down the hole. Are you ready for this, Mum? Are you getting the hot chocolate ready? Are you getting straight in with the hot chocolate? I'll take the sandwiches out. Quite excited about this. It was only yesterday when we were having that coffee up here. It was like, oh, I could really do with a hot chocolate. And we always used to have this. I mean, this is like the real cheap, crappy hot chocolate that you just add hot water to, and it reminds me of skiing. You know, when you like go to the cafe, like when you come down the mountain, you're like off the ski lift, and it's just like a really lovely instant powdered hot chocolate to have. Yeah, right, that's yours. It's already got the sugar in it, so don't. And I'm going to go and light some cartridges. I'm going to put it in the hole that runs directly under the polytunnel that's behind the rosemary, because I think that's the most obvious hole, and we'll see where it pops up. Okay, let's go. Exciting. I'll only take one. I won't take the whole box. I might set fire to the lot of them, and that would be a disaster. So the hole that we had that was coming into the polytunnel was in that corner there. If I can use my shadow as oh no, I could just use my finger. It was in that corner there. And they haven't redug that one, but you can see the other entrance to it is behind this rosemary. It's like in there. So that is where I'm going to put the smoke bomb. Are you ready for this, Mum? Okay, I'm hoping also that because it's quite a windy day, it will have quite a lot of draw. Right, get my sleeves away from this. Set fire to myself. Oh! Yeah. No, we don't want to block them in so they can't get out. But mind out, because they probably will come running out of the holes, so watch out. That didn't last very long, did it?
No. Do you think that's it?
No, I don't think so. Let's have another go. Yeah.
Can you get in there?
Well, I'll light another one and see if the same thing happens. It says burn time 45 seconds.
They're quite expensive.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have another go at that then. I might drop it down this hole this time.
Okay. I'll put the brick over here.
Yeah, put the brick over that one.
Can you see that?
Yes. I mean, 45 seconds isn't really adequate. I was thinking more like 20 minutes or something. Yeah. I might have to look for some longer burning ones. I would have thought so. Oh yeah, here it goes. So I'm going to hold my hands up and say that wasn't the wildest success we've ever had with a scheme. But I'm going to look for some longer burning smoke pellets and see if we can't do something with it, because I think we've got potential. But we have accepted defeat and retreated for sandwiches. The girlies are being ridiculous. Florence has got a piece of my crust and is running away from Ruby, who's in hot pursuit. I love it when the girlies, they're so ridiculous. when somebody finds something really exciting like a worm or whatever, they have to run away from the rest of the girls to have it, but that means they can't eat it, so they just end up running around with the tasties in their mouth. Hey Rube, I know you found a bit of ham. You found the real goodies. I know she's only got a crust, girlie. Yeah, it's chickens. You're ridiculous curlies, aren't you? Ridiculous girlies. Yeah. Beautiful girls. That's it, darlings. I don't have any more sandwich. I've eaten it all. Well, for a shop-bought sandwich, that wasn't half bad. And now we are set to go. There's been a slight change in order of things that we're going to do. So I've been meaning to kind of do some work on the greenhouse for quite a long time. We've got problems with the floor in there and all that kind of stuff. But it's been a slight upgrading of its urgency, because since the guys come round and have told us kind of the actual order of works to fix the kitchen floor, I know it's all about floors, isn't it? I've got a floor curse on me at the moment. But yeah, since they have like drawn out the list of actually what they're going to do, although there's still some uncertainties in there, what we have realised is that the back half of the house and the conservatory are going to be completely out of action for some time. And that means that really we have to get the greenhouse sorted to the point where we can bring our seedlings from home up here when we need to. Now the polytunnel, nothing's really going to be going into there until early May, although I want it finished an awful lot sooner than that. I would like it finished before the end of March. But the greenhouse, we're going to get no notice for how quickly we need to get all of our stuff out from home. So that is where I'm focusing. So I'm going to be sewing like a demon at home this month, and we will keep everything at home until here because it is better in the sense that it's heated. Our conservatory at home has got a radiator in it. And up here it hasn't, so the seedlings are not going to have the best time, but it's better than nothing. So I need to get that sorted. And while I'm getting that sorted, we've got to rip the floor out, but we also have to move where the racking is. We don't really have genuine racking in there. The racking is made from an old door from a previous greenhouse. So I'm just going to make some more quickly. I've just been rooting through my box of screws, trying to find ones that are long enough to go through the 2x4s that I am using. So I've got myself a little selection of screws. Nothing matches. None of the wood is going to match, but it will be usable. And that is the primary focus for this, because to be fair, it might not even happen until like the middle of summer. But if it does, we're going to get no notice because it'll be a job cancellation situation where they just ring up and say, right, we'll be there at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then we're going to have to clear everything out of that little conservatory. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Priorities. Although I really want to get on with that polytunnel now. Now I've got all that soil out. That was the major job. But no, focus. The priority is get that greenhouse usable. Just got to check again that these are an okay length. If you could give me a hand. Yeah, I just want you to run inside with it again. They were, I think. I'm just double checking before I crack on. Yep, that's fine. That's perfect. Wonderful. Thank you very much. So I have various offcuts and things all the way like stacked around the back of here. I've got these two that are exactly the same, and they happen to be absolutely perfect to fit on the end here. They're not the same thickness of wood, but they're the same length, and so these are going to form my two end pieces. This is really just like what we've got. We haven't bought anything extra for this. Once again, we're making it scrap heap challenge, but it'll be good. So they're going to go either end, and I'll just have the long ones, 4 legs, sorted. Easy as pie. So you may be wondering why we're doing this when we've got a perfectly usable greenhouse as it is. Sort of twofold, really. Firstly, the floor of the greenhouse really needs something done to it, because for the last, I don't even know how many years, we've just been chucking wood chip down on there, and there's about like 15 years worth of wood chip, and as it sort of rots down, we've got more and more soil in there, and then the wood chip on top, and really it just needs to be cleared out and rethought through. The reason that I want to move the racking is because I think firstly we'll have more space going along the edge rather than the back end. We also get better height for the back because I want to grow the cucumbers and melons up the back wall, and at the moment I can't do that because that's where we've got the bench. I'm also very excited to say that I have some quad grows to try this year. Never grown anything in quad grows, or in fact anything like quad grows, so big excitement. But they're huge and they need a big old whack of space to really kind of do their best. So they're going to be going along one edge, kind of opposite where I'm putting this bench. The bench's height is going to be slightly higher than the bench that we have already because we want the space underneath to be usable. And part of that is when we clear out the wood chip from the floor. I don't know what we're going to be replacing it with just yet, but it won't be more wood chip probably because we find a lot of things kind of overwinter and hide in the wood chip, just ready for the nice soft tender new seedlings, and then it all emerges from the wood chip. So we want something cleaner that we can sweep, because when I'm potting up in here, inevitably I drop soil all over the place and it just kind of becomes one with the wood chip. And I want something that I can just bring in the broom, dustpan and brush, sweep it all up and it be back to looking snaz. That is my aim. And although the greenhouse is usable as it is at the moment, and we won't be putting the quad grows and the chili peppers and things in here until, again, a bit like the polytunnel, until May time, if we're going to be moving large quantities of seedlings in here from home at an unspecified date, I just want it to be all set up and ready to go so that we don't have to start carting seedlings in and out, because the moment you start doing that, inevitably they get dropped. I know what I'm like. And I just want it all to be in place before we have to do that. I'm not actually going to fix these legs to the top of the frame right at this minute, because we're going to want to take this out again when we really work out what we want to do with the floor, but I'm just checking that it fits, and I'm pleased to say it does perfectly. So this will just be propped up here for the time being. The floor actually is going to require much less work in terms of levelling than I thought it would. When we were scraping out those wood chips, we really took quite a hump out of the centre of the floor, and it's come down really nicely and really quite flat and compact. So haven't decided what the floor covering is going to be yet, but it's less work than expected, which is always a joy. But yeah, look, the floor is pretty solid and pretty flat, so we'll find something to put on there, and the bench fits like a dream. So I'll be putting mesh back over the top of this, and then the space underneath will be usable and light. Fab! I'm very happy. And there we have everything back in. This is only temporary mopped up, obviously, because we've just got earthen floor in here at the moment. But yeah, I'm so pleased that we made that progress this week. And actually, talking of this week, I think this is going to serve as our little end chat because, well, it's been a bit of a long video, hasn't it? And it's been a long video completely and utterly dominated by digging out floors, which, yeah, probably wasn't the most fascinating thing to watch. But they were things that just really needed doing. This is now all ready to go in here. Just need to work out what we want to put down. We've got a number of options, but we will think on that. Now we've got this far, we're in a good position. Thinking of lino or something like that down in here just for the season. I want something that I can sweep really easily and like get the soil out, because obviously the moment you drop mud or anything when you're potting stuff up, I want something that I can just sweep away. But decision has not been made. But now we're in this formation, I know that we're in a good place. And we've kept the bubble wrap up purely because we don't know, like I said, if that next week we're going to have to move all of our seedlings and stuff out of the house into here, in which case the bubble wrap will be very useful because it does make a difference to the temperature, as far as I'm concerned. I haven't done any scientific experiments to kind of have, because I don't have two greenhouses, to check whether they're how much of a difference it makes. But even if it's just psychological, it feels like it's making a difference. So yeah, we've kept the bubble wrap up, but that will be coming down this summer. Obviously, we left it up over summer this year, but we'll be taking it down, and the greenhouse needs a very, very good clean inside and out. But yeah, like this week has been completely dominated by digging. Next week is going to be completely dominated by sowing. My sowing list is enormous for March. Lots of the stuff, to be honest, is at the end of March, but there's things I need to get in now that I haven't. Also got things to pot up. The broad beans that are recovering, you can see they're getting quite strong now. They've been coming out in the day and just having to fend for themselves, so they're coming good. But yeah, huge amount of sowing to do next week, which is going to be my main task. So I don't know why I'm pulling a face. I love sowing. It's just when you're faced with a list quite the length of the one that I've got, it can be a bit daunting. But that's what happens in March, isn't it? So I've got a couple more bits to do up here before the end. I've got something for the girlies, or at least for the outside of the girlies' house, which is quite nice. Bit silly, but quite nice. And today is Mother's Day. So we are going to be going to the pub. So Mum and I will do a cheers from the pub, because as you can see, I am cheersless for my final chat today, which is pretty rubbish. Pretty rubbish. But yeah, so that was this week, chaps. We've made progress. Solid progress. Right, go and do the girlies, and I'll see you at the pub.